You know, it's amazing. There's so many of us out here who have so much talent that we're not putting to good use. It's like we do things on the side and we just think, ah, that's what I do on the side, and never think of it as a business. Well, our businesses can be exactly what we love to do, what we find our joy in, and what we find our bliss with. Today I've got such an artist, entrepreneur, business owner that does exactly that, has taken something that they're passionate about and made it into a business. So now today we're going to talk about this and explore it, because I want you to really think about the things that you like to do and the passions that you have. So I brought in a special guest all the way from Hershey, Pennsylvania, to share her story with you and some of the things that she does that gives her so much joy. So I want you to stay right there. I want you to watch this show, because I'm Sandra Bishop and you're tuned in to Thrive. And hi, welcome back. I'm Sandra, and you are tuned into this edition of Thrive. I am so excited because today I have with me Cheryl Woodruff Brooks, who is here back in town, and she's in town from Hershey, Pennsylvania. Hi, Cheryl.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm wonderful.
Good.
Now, Cheryl, you're originally from Cleveland, Ohio, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, and now you're living in Hershey, Pennsylvania?
That's right.
And you're back here. You're an entrepreneur now, and we want to hear a little bit about what you're doing. So why don't you tell me what you've been up to since you started business? How long ago?
It was 2003 when I first started. At home on maternity leave from work, contemplating not going back at all, and decided to start sewing. I had a lot of maternity clothes that I could no longer fit, and I just started sewing up my jeans and turning them into different size bags, messenger bags and wallets and backpacks, and I just started experimenting.
Wow.
I was also making greeting cards. So the greeting cards kind of took off initially.
Okay.
But like most women, I love purses. So I was like, I'm going to stick with this purse thing for a while. But it took me longer to perfect it. So the greeting cards were up and running, and when I left here, about a dozen boutiques and galleries throughout Cleveland. And I just continued to work on the handbags. The handbags drew a lot of attention, probably because they were just so really different. So people started stopping me and asking me about them. And I decided, yeah, let me move a little faster on this. So I continued to sell greeting cards and let 4 years go by where I just made sure I had durable hardware and a purse that was attractive. So the first one I got, I called it an Elijah flagship bag. The first one I made, I gave to a friend of mine, Sandra, coincidence, who ended up starring in HBO's The Wire. So she was my first celebrity client just by fate.
Wow.
So I thought, wow, this must be a sign, because she was just like, it was my first copy. She loved it. She's like, you're going to give me that bag.
Wow.
And 2 or 3 weeks later, she got an audition.
So now, have you always been crafty?
Always.
Always. Like the Martha Stewart of crafts, huh?
Some of my friends can say that, but because I did a lot of different artistic things growing up, and most people knew me for dancing, or other people knew me for singing, but they didn't know I also made our cheerleading uniforms at John Adams, and I made my own prom dress. I started with a pattern, but I ditched the pattern halfway through it. I made some of our costumes when we were in a dance group.
Wow.
So I didn't see myself actually doing that for a living at the time. It was just it was a skill I had. I just put it to use.
Wow, that
so I
is
really
fabulous.
didn't see it coming.
And so you're one of those people that is kind of like an accidental entrepreneur, in that you just took a passion and turned it into a business, huh?
Well, I think I was always meant to be an entrepreneur.
Okay.
I don't think I saw the fashion, crafty part of it coming.
Okay.
I I think I was one of those kids. I like doing so many different things. I really wasn't sure what path I was going to end up taking.
Okay.
But I was sure that I had a knack for business.
Okay.
So that's what I ended up pursuing educationally wise.
Okay.
You know.
And so you went through college?
In business. I
Okay.
majored in finance in undergrad, and I majored in marketing in grad school.
Okay.
And I just kind of took those tools and then added my passion to it.
Okay, and so you applied it to that and made it into this type of business, what you're doing now.
Right.
And so is all this education helping you out, or is this still just your artistic side?
It's a part of it. I think anyone with a very strong drive and passion for anything can pursue it with or without a degree. But it definitely has helped me understand how to price, how to promote a business, how to present myself, because I walked into boutiques and just shook hands and said, hey, I'm an artist and I want to show you some of my wares. And these are things I transitioned from what I did working at IBM or working wherever else I worked.
Okay.
You know, but you know, there's a Donald Trumps of the world that they don't have all those degrees, and they were really meant to be entrepreneurs.
Right. Okay.
But in my case, I've definitely put it to use.
So now, are your designs like one of a kind, or?
I started out one of a kind, and my hands got very busy. I found myself sewing a lot. And said, well, you know, at some point you're going to have to consider mass production. So now I actually have companies that I'm utilizing to reproduce my wares. And I'll still customize. Yep.
Oh, excellent. And you have companies that are mass producing.
Right.
Everything you do.
Yes.
That's fabulous.
Yeah, but I had to grow to that point.
Yeah, you've taken it to the next level. Now, you know, we all get caught up in these problems that we have, I think, sometimes because we're not prepared to go to the next step. So what you did is part of probably your background. Part of your background was saying that this is about to blow up on me and now you need to prepare for the next step.
Right.
Was that easy for you to do? I mean, you said you started off on maternity leave?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think I envisioned the business growing big, but you got to start where you are and work with what you have. And I just said to myself, I'll utilize what I have till I outgrow it. So I think you shouldn't jump ahead of yourself, even though you've got these big dreams. You have to time it for the demand. You see a demand for your product growing, and then you start to plan, well, what will I do in the event of I start a website and 100 hits came in one day? You know, so you do have to prepare for those things.
And a lot of times I don't think that most entrepreneurs factor that thing in. It's almost as if we sometimes have this tendency to just kind of walking along and doing what we do up until you see some people that all of a sudden things blow up on them and then they're at a loss for what to do.
Yeah.
So that is marvelous that you had that foresight to start creating and being a little proactive about that. Yeah. So now, when you say that you've done all this stuff, this has been over a period of 7 years? Okay, so now where do you want to go after this, beyond here?
At this point, I'm looking to increase internet presence. That's my biggest thing. Ultimately, I plan on competing with the Coaches and the Pradas and the Hermes. So I see myself as a very well-established accessories company.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, with that, we'll be right back.